So let's discuss this question now. In this question we have to figure out the output of the following code. So we generally start from the main function. It has been said printf %d function 2 5. So first we go to the function 2 and put 5. Now let us execute function 2 5 with the following code. Static int I equals to 0. We have a static variable I of integer type and we have initialized it to 0, and it means that we have integer variable I. It is statically in the memory. Now let's say the next statement. If n equals to is greater than 0 and here n is 5. Is 5 greater than 0? Yes. Then execute I equals to I plus function 1 n. So here now I is equal to 0, put 0 here, 0 plus function 1 of 5. Okay, function 1 of 5. Now in the next statement we also have function 2, n is 5, put 5 here, 5 minus 1 is 4, function 2 of 4, and return I. So I have written r of I. Now all you need to do is the execution of function 1 of 5, and in function 1 n we have another variable I which is different from the previous one, and we have initialized I of same integer type and initialize it to 0. Next statement says that if n is greater than 0, n here is 5. 5 is greater than 0, yes. We increment I and we execute function 1 of 5 minus 1, which is 4. So we have incremented I. Okay, I equals to 1 and function of 1 of 4. Okay, and also return I, which is return I. And this function 1 4 will again execute it, okay, in the same manner. Okay, now n here is 4 and n is greater than 0, yes. 4 is greater than 0, yes. So increment I again, I equals to 2, function 1 of 3, return I, and in the same way go up till here, and I equals to 5, function 1 0 r5. Why r5 now? Because function 1 is returning nothing except it is returning the value of I, because 0 here if placed 0 is greater than 0, false, then this if statement will not get executed, and return of I, which is 5, will get and will get returned by the function of 5. Okay, we got the value of function 1 5 as 5. So 5 plus 0, which is 5, and next function 2 of 4 will be executed, and here n is 4. Go to this location and we will not execute this statement because it has been already executed, and here I equals to I plus function of I of n. In the same manner, now I is equal to 5. 5 plus function 1 of n, and here is 4 because it is coming from this function. N here was 4 and this n has placed here, so 4 function 1 of 4. And also you can write this statement here function 2 3, because 4 minus 1 is 3, and return of I, because we don't know the value of I. Okay, now we have to execute function 1 4. In the same manner we have to execute function 4. Now if you notice here, I was static variable in this domain, and in this block, in this whole block, the I has a scope of in this block. So I was initially 5 and should be incremented to 6, because this I plus plus I should be executed, and function 1, which is function 1, and 3. Why 3? Because n minus 1, which is n is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3, and return of I, because we don't know the value of I. Now here, and again we have to execute function 1 3. I equals to 7, function 1 2 ri, 8, function 1 1. We are decrementing it to up till 0, because here function 1 n minus 1 has been executed continuously. Okay, now function 1 of 0, which is will return nothing except the I, and I is 9. 9 will be kicked out from the function 1 4. Come here, 9 plus 5 equals to 14, and I is now 14. Okay, and now except this condition we have to execute this function 2 of 3. So function 2 of 3, here n is 3 and n is greater than 0, I plus 1, okay, sorry, I plus function of 1 of n, which is function 1 of 3. Okay, why 3? Because 3 is coming from here. And similarly we can execute all the statements. If you come at the last, I equals to 40 plus function of 1, then the next statement is function 2 of 0. This will return nothing except it will just kick out the value of I. Now let's see how to execute this one, function of 1 with parameter 1. At the last you will approach here and I was 14. Okay, and now we have to increment the I value as same as before, because 1 is greater than 0, and function of 1, which is function 1 of 0, will be executed and return the value of 15. Why 15? Because this function returning nothing except the I. Okay, because 0 is greater than 0, no, false, then this will not get incremented, this step will not executed, and return of I, which is 15. If we come here, 15 plus 40 equals to 55, and this is the answer returned by the function 2 of 5. Now let's see this question. We need to have the predict the output of the pp 3, 4. Let's first come to the pp function and pp int a int b. Here a equals to 3 and b equals to 4. Now if you execute these 3 lines, it will be like tot equals to 1, and there is another integer variable ex ln, and ex is assigned with a, and we need to find out ln equals to tob. Now tob is a function which is taking 4 and an array. Okay, now come to the tob 4 comma array. B equals to 4, right? Because b was given as an actual parameter in the formal parameters. Okay, now b equals to 4, and now let's come to the tob function here. Integer equals to integer b, int b, and is array. B equals to 4 and array is a random array. Okay, now here b equals to 4, until and unless b is greater than 0, we need to execute these 3 lines. Let's come to this line. If b, which is 4 mod 2, which is 0, this means that this statement is false. Come to the else condition, and here array of I is 0, so array of I should be 0. So array of I, which is 0, which is equal to 0, and now b is divided by 2 and also assigned to the b. So b is divided by 2, which is 4 by 2, which is 2, and b equals to 2. And now we increment the I as in the for loop, and then again check the condition. B, which is 2 mod 2, which is 0, again the else condition, and the iteration is for I equals to 1, so array of 1 equals to 0, array of 1 equals to 0, and b is 1. Why b equals to 1? Because 2 by 2 equals to 1. Okay, now again we increment I plus plus, and now in this case b equals to 1 mod 2, which is 1, and now the condition becomes true. Now we need to execute array of 2 equals to 1, array of 2 equals to 1, and b equals to 0, because why? B was 1 and 1 by 2 is 0, because in integer and we have 0 for 0.5. okay, now we need to again increment the I, because as in the for loop, after executing the last loop we need to increment the I. So I is now 3, and we need to close the loop and return 3. Why? Because return I. Okay, now the 3 is assigned to the len. Okay, now for loop of ppp should be executed. Len is 3. We need to execute from I equals to 1 up till I equals to 2, because len equals to 3. Now if you see these 3 statements, array of I equals to 1, when true execute this one, and elsewise if not true you can execute this, because it is not in the if else statement. Okay, now let's see this. When I equals to 0, there was a false condition. The if became false because array of 0 is 0, so 0 is not equal to 1, so you can skip this statement and come here. And now ex is value is having a, so a into a. What is a here? A is 3, so 3 into 3, which is 9, and we increment the I value, and now the if statement becomes false because array of 1 is also 0, so it is false. Now ex equals to 9 into 9, because previously ex was having value of 9. 9 into 9 is 81, and the next iteration is having the value of 2 and array of 2 is equals to 1. So put here 1. The if statement becomes true. Now the true will execute this statement. TOT equals to TOT into EX. EX is having the value of 81. 81 into TOT, which is 1, because TOT is initiated as 1. So 81 into 1 equals to 81. So TOT equals to 81. And now EX is having the value of EX into EX. So EX is having value of 81. So 81 into 81, 81 square. But don't worry about it, because we need to return TOT. TOT is having value of 81. So 81 is the answer. Now let's say this question now. We need to print the counter value after executing this code. So in the question it was given that you need to figure out the value of counter by executing this code. Calc 4, 81. Now see this. Now come to the calc code. A equals to 4 and B equals to 81. If I put a 4 and 81 in this place, now counter is initially 0 as it's a global variable, and now there's if else condition, and now come here. If B equals to 3, is B 3? No, B is 81. 81 is not equal to 3. So come here in else condition. C equals to calc. C equals to calc 4, 27. Why? Because A is 4 and B is 81. 81 by 3 is 27. I have put 27 in this place, and also I have executed this return C into C into C like this. We have not put the value because we need to execute further. And now come to the calc function again with 4, 27. Now B is 27 and B is not equal to 3. So again we need to execute the else condition. But that C equals to calc of 4, 9, because 27 by 3 is 9, and return C into C into C, and again do this and again do this. Now in this case, when the counter became 3, we have C equals to calc of 4, 3, and now if 3 is equal to 3, return A into A into A. Now as we have executed this code, we have incremented the counter 4 times after 0. Okay, so printf the value of counter, it would be 4. Okay, let us now look at the code. In the main function we have a structure declared, our node P, and we have something like this 1, 0 and a character plus 2 our node, and there's a pointer to a structure, this I node. Okay, this our node, and now there's a base address of P, which is, let's say we have base address of P that's 100. 100 is assigned to Q, which is a pointer to a structure, our node. Okay, it means that the base address of P is just the value of the Q. Now we need to figure out the value of %C and %C in this printf function with along with the equivalent value of this and this. If you notice here, you want to find out the value of this. Now here you need to figure out in which way you want to execute. General, we execute the inner portion first. Inner portion is here is Q, and the Q is typecasted to character. And now if you go to the Q, now there's 100 here, and 100 will take me here, and I'm standing here, and I'm just adding 1 to the Q, which is here. Okay, and we are getting the value by placing star in front of it. So I'm getting the value of this 0. Okay, it is a character of 0. So your answer should be 0 here. In the similar manner, we need to go 2 steps further to achieve this goal and place the this a character plus 2 in this place. Okay, now we need to figure out the value of a character plus 2. See, in this way, having the a and 2, we need to add 2 letters to a, which is C. Okay, the next 2 letters of a is C, so C should be printed in this mat space. Okay, so the answer should be 0 C, comma in between 0 and C. Now let us take this question. We have 3 functions. First function is main, second is function 1, function 2, and we need to execute these 3 lines of code. Character star str1 high star character str2 equals to by, and we have a function which is taking these 2 strings str1 and str2 and printing it like this, str1 and str2 in the same order. And also we are taking the address of the str1 and address of str2. So in general, this function is not taking any address, so it will print the same string as it is, hi and bye. And if it is taking a base address of each string and it is swapping the function, okay, swapping the two strings and printing here, so it would be bye hi. In general, the answer would be hi bye and bye hi. The answer is as simple as that. But let's take it as the illustration to this problem. Let's take the first case where we are just placing the string in this actual parameters. Come here. In this box we have s1 and s2 here. So we are executing the function 1. Let's come to the function 1, and it is taking a pointer to a character, and it is also a pointer to a character. And also, say we have 100 as a base address for this string and 200 as base address for str2. These base address will be passed to the s1 and s2, and there is a temporary variable which is a pointer to a character. So if you place the base address in the both the strings, we have to copy the str1 to the s1 and str2 to the s2. Okay, right? So in this case, in this block of code, we have s1 equals to hi and s2 equals to bye. Okay, as we do in the call by, not call by reference. Okay, now here the temporary variable is 100. Why? Because temporary is assigned with s1 is 100 here, and s1 is assigned with s2, so s2 is 200 and s2 is again assigned with the temporary which is 100, so 100 is, so it is swapping the strings but in the scope of block. So here the strings are not affected, str1 and str2 remains the same. But whereas if we take the base address for the string, and let's say the base address is 1000 for str1, it means that it is a pointer to a pointer. Okay, and in the same case for the string 2 we have a pointer which is 200 and to the pointer which is 2000. Okay, it means that if I point a star for the 1000, it will give me 100, and if I point to the star of 100, it will give me h, and we can increment +1 and +2 as you require. Okay, let's come to this problem. Here in this block we have s1 equals 1000 and s2 equals 2000. Okay, now temporary is 100 and s1 equals to 200 and s2 equals to 100 because we are swapping the values. See, in this swapping we are just changing the values at the main function. It is changing at the main function. Okay, we're not changing in this block of code. Okay, the scope of this change is also affecting the main function. So in conclusion, we can say now 1000 will point to 100 and 2000 will point to 200. Then obviously the string printing will be in reverse. Okay, so bye and hi will be printed for this function, whereas here hi and bye will be printed. Okay.